Now let us see the next method of finding the average, that is an assumed mean method. Okay, so by the name itself, assumed means you are assuming a value as a mean. When the values of xi and fi are very large, that time the multiplication values will be very big enough, isn't it? Because you are multiplying xi with fi. By the direct method, we used to multiply them, we used to find their summation, and then we used to divide it with the summation of frequency, isn't it? But what if the values are very large enough? Yes, in that case, the multiplication will become again more tedious, or the values will be very big enough. So, what can we do? The next method, which is said to be assumed mean method, in that method, we are considering a value among these class marks as the assumed mean. Okay, so any one of this value, because as we know, if we are finding the average means what? We are finding such value of x which is the representative of the whole class. Now these are all the class marks. As we have said, the values are uniformly distributed. So we will be assuming any value as the mean among these class marks only, isn't it? And then we will be looking at what are the deviations from the assumed mean. So before proceeding to that method, let us first see what exactly we are going to do. Suppose there are 4 students and everybody is having some chocolates with them. The first student is having 3, second one is having 5, third one is having 7, and fourth one is having 9. Now I have to divide the chocolates in such a way that everybody is getting the same number of chocolates. So what I will do, logically I will add all the number of chocolates and I will divide it by the number of students. So what is the addition? 9 plus 7 is 16, plus 5 21, plus 3 24. So 24, how many children are there? 4. So which gives me value as 6. It means each children will be getting 6 chocolates, so that the number of chocolates each children is getting will be same, isn't it? It means if my value of mean, okay, so these are the number of chocolates. So if my value of mean is 6, let us assume the deviation means the value of the observation is how far or nearer to the mean value. It means I have to subtract each time the mean from all the 4 values. Okay, so that we call it as a deviation. Deviation means how it deviates from the mean value. So 3 minus 6 will give me minus 3. 5 minus 6 will give me minus 1. 7 minus 6 will give me plus 1, whereas 9 minus 6 will give me plus 3. And if you try to do the addition of all these 4 values, you can see minus 3 minus 1 is minus 4 and 1 plus 1 is plus 4. So you are getting the deviation value as 0. Okay. When the deviation value is 0, it means whatever you have found as mean, that is the correct value of the average, isn't it? What if here I assume the mean as 5? Instead of 6, let us see that the mean I am assuming, I didn't calculate it, but I am just assuming, let us assume that the mean is 5. So again, let us find the deviations. Yes, so 3 minus 5 will give me minus 2, whereas 5 minus 5 will give me 0, 7 minus 5 will give me plus 2, whereas 9 minus 5 will give me 4. And if you do a summation of these deviations, you can see you are getting a value as 4. It means still 4 chocolates are remaining, and that 4 chocolates, if I again divide it between the number of students, what it will, everybody will get one chocolate each. Yes, so logically what I try to do, yes, after distributing one chocolate to each, then the number of chocolates of each student is getting is same. Okay, so now my average will be, or let me write down in a statement, therefore my mean value will be whatever I assumed and whatever the value I have got as the deviation summation, again that I have to distribute among the children. So plus distributed value. Okay, so my assumed mean was 5, whereas my distributed value was 1. So I am getting what as 6. So as you can see, even though I have assumed a value as a mean which was not actually the correct value, but still after the calculation I am getting the same value as a mean which I had found it by my actual finding the average calculation. Okay, so in this method the logic is saying the main thing is to be to have this summation of deviation at 0. Yes, the main concept is to have the deviation at 0. Only if the deviation is 0, it means the value you are getting will be the correct average. If the deviation is not equal to 0, and whatever value you are getting, you have to again distribute it among all the observations. Okay, so by this concept only we are going to find the average of the given respective data. Okay, so I hope now you assumed what we are going to do. We are going to assume any value as mean, and then we are going to find the respective deviations of that observations with respect to the assumed mean, and then we will find the final mean by assumed mean plus distributed value. So let us come back to our example. Yes, so what we have done, we have found the class marks. Now the assumed mean value, what it should be? Yes, among the class marks you have to select. See, even if your two-person can assume two different values of mean, yes or no? Will that change the value of the average? No, because as I have told you, even if your assumed mean is different values, finally the deviation value will get distributed. If you have assumed a mean value which is far below than the actual mean, the distributed value you will be getting a higher number, and again that will get distributed among the observations. So finally you will be getting the same mean irrespective of what is your assumed mean. Okay, so now in this case there are 5 values of class marks. Among them we have to consider any one as to be the assumed mean. Let us assume this has to be a central value. So my assumed mean is 47.5. Okay, so what we have to do, we have to now find the deviations. Yes, deviation denoted by d. Again, since we are going to find for different values, so I will take it as di, where what we used to do, 3 minus 6, 3 minus means whatever is the observation, from that you have to you were subtracting the assumed mean. So my observations are denoted by xi minus assumed mean, which is nothing but 47.5 in this case. Let us find the values. So 17.5 minus 47.5. What is the value? Yes, 17.5 minus 47.5 will give me value as minus 30. Second one, 32.5 minus 47.5. Yes, it will give me the value as 15, sorry, minus 15. Third case, 47.5 minus 47.5 will give me the value as 0. 62.5 minus 47.5, it will give me the value as 15 plus 15. 77.5 minus 47.5 will give me the value as plus 30, and the last one, 92.5 minus 47.5 will give me the value as 0, 5, 4, 45. Okay, so these are all my deviation values. Yes, what is my next step? My next step is, so now we have got all the deviation values. For finding the average, what we used to do, we used to find summation of fi xi divided by summation of fi. Now to reduce the calculation part, actually we are considering the assumed mean. Yes, so now instead of multiplying the class marks with the frequencies, now I will be multiplying the deviations with the frequencies. Okay, so let us take one more column which says FIDI. So minus 30 into 2 will give me minus 60. Minus 15 into 3. minus 45. 0 into 7 is 0. 15 into 6 is 90. Again 30 into 6 is 180. And 45 into 6 is 54. 540. Yes? No, not 540. It will be 90, 90, 90. It will be 270. Okay. Further, what we have to do? Again, we have to distribute these values among the remaining students or among the whole data. Yes. What was the logic? The average is equal to assumed mean plus distributed value. And the concept was we have to obtain the summation to be 0. If the summation was not 0, then whatever value you are getting, you have to redistribute it. So let us find the summation of this, which will be denoted by Fi di, which is equal to the addition of all the values in the column will give me 435. Okay, but now how will I find the average? What was my average? It was x bar is equal to assumed mean plus distributed value. Distributed value means whatever you are getting it as summation. Yes. So, or we can frame the equation like this also. I will try to write it here. Summation of Fi di divided by summation of Fi. Okay. Now instead of di was what? It was my xi minus 47.5. What was my 47.5? It was my assumed mean. Okay. So can I write it like this? This value is of what? It is my d bar. Just like when you are taking the average of the x, you write it as x bar. So that value is my d bar. If I replace this di with xi minus a, where a is your assumed mean, mean. Okay, so what it will be? Summation of Fi in bracket xi minus a divided by summation of Fi, which is equal to d bar. Further, separate summation of Fi xi minus summation of Fi a whole divided by summation of Fi will give me d bar. Okay. Further, let us separate the summation of Fi for two numerators. So it will be summation of Fi xi divided by summation of Fi minus, since a is constant, so I can take a here. So summation of Fi divided by summation of Fi, which will give me d bar. Now this Fi I can cancel it out. Okay. So what is summation of Fi xi upon summation of Fi? That is a formula for average, isn't it? So can I replace it with x bar minus, this is your a, which is equal to d bar. Yes. What are you going to find? Why are we doing this all things? So as to find the mean or the average. It means I wanted to find the x bar. So can I write x bar is equal to, if you shift this a to other side, it will become plus. So it will be a, which is nothing but my assumed mean, plus d bar, which is my distributed value. And d bar could also be written as what? This was the value of your d bar, isn't it? So I can write x bar is equal to a plus summation of Fi di divided by summation of Fi. Okay, so this is the next method of finding the average, named as assumed mean method. Okay, why is it called assumed mean? As you are assuming a mean. So what we did here, since so as to avoid the huge calculation part, we are supposing a value as which could be subtracted from all the x, so that the calculation part becomes easier. Now for considering that value also, that value should be a mid value, hence it is called as assumed mean. and then we are going to find the deviations of the other observations from that assumed mean values. Here 47.5, since it was considered to be a mid value, you could have taken 62.5 also, and in either way you will be getting the same value. So this value is my assumed mean, which could be also represented as A, and then I had find deviations of all the xi's with respect to the assumed mean. The next column will be, now instead of multiplying the frequency with x, I will be multiplying the frequencies with di. As you can see, the calculations were very easy since all the numbers were whole numbers, and just when you multiply with the frequencies you got the values which are very quick enough. Yes, very the calculation was very easy. And then I had find the summation of this column or this sum. Now this summation was denoted as d bar. Okay, just like the summation of x bar, x we denote as x bar. D is nothing but the deviation of the observations with respect to assumed mean. So I replaced the value of di with xi minus a. Then I multiplied with fi to both the values. Since a is constant, so I have taken a outside the summation, and this fi get cancelled, and this value is nothing but of x bar, whereas this a will remain as it is, and the d bar. If you shift that a to other side, it will give you plus sign. So x bar is equal to a plus d bar, and d bar is nothing but summation of fi di divided by summation of fi. Now let us find the value for this example by that method. So x bar is equal to, what is your a? It is 47.5 plus, what is fi di? It is my 435. What is your fi? It is 30. So 47.5 plus, if you divide 435 with 30, you are getting the value as 14.5, which will give you the mean as 62. So again, this is the same mean which we had obtained by the direct method. Okay, so it is the same mean value obtained by the direct method. Because it is for the same method, we are just making some changes uh, so as to make the calculation part a little easier. Okay.